Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into the incredible high-speed network that keeps you alive and moving. Yeah, we're talking about your body's control and coordination system.
So to get our heads around this, we don't need to start with something super complicated. Let's begin with a simple, everyday action you've probably done thousands of times without even thinking about it.
Crossing a road. It seems easy, right? You walk. But what's really happening under the surface is this incredible feat of coordination. It's like a biological masterpiece playing out in real time.
See, it's not just one thing. It's a whole symphony of actions. Your eyes are seeing the traffic, your ears are picking up horns, your brain is judging speed, and your muscles are getting the signal to either move or wait. All of these different parts are in constant, perfect communication. And if just one tiny link in that chain breaks, the whole thing can fall apart.
So who's the conductor of this whole symphony? Well, that would be your body's command center, the system that's responsible for all this high-speed communication, the nervous system. The best way to picture it is like a government. You've got the central nervous system, that's the brain and spinal cord, and it's kind of like the capital city, making all the big decisions. And then you have the peripheral nervous system. That's all the other nerves, which are like the messengers and agents spread out all over the country, gathering intel and carrying out orders.
Okay, and this brings us to a really common mix-up that we need to clear up right now. We often use the words spinal cord and backbone like they're the same thing, but they are totally, fundamentally different. Honestly, the best analogy is just a simple pen. Your backbone, that's your vertebral column, it's like the tough plastic outer casing of the pen. But the spinal cord? That's the delicate ink refill on the inside. That's the actual information highway that connects your brain to, well, everything else.
So how does a message actually travel down this highway? To understand that, we need to zoom in. Way in, right down to a single nerve cell.
So meet the neuron. This little guy is the fundamental building block. It's the microscopic wire that carries every single thought, feeling, and command in your body. And you want to hear something wild? While they're microscopic in width, some of these single cells can be over a meter long. Just imagine a single wire running from your lower back all the way down to your big toe. That's one cell. Crazy, right?
Now, a signal traveling through a neuron follows a really strict one-way street. It comes in through these branch-like receivers called dendrites, it gets processed in the main cell body, and then it just zips down this long highway called the axon, all the way to the nerve ending. It's just like an electrical pulse flashing down a wire.
But here's the catch. Here's the puzzle. Neurons don't actually touch each other. There's this tiny, tiny gap between them called a synapse. So how does the electrical signal jump across empty space?
Well, the surprising answer is it doesn't. It can't jump. Instead, in this unbelievably fast, quick change act, the message completely transforms itself just so it can cross that gap.
So when that electrical signal hits the very end of the nerve, it triggers the release of these special chemical messengers called neurotransmitters. They flood across that tiny gap, they dock with the next neuron in line, and bam, they instantly create a brand new electrical signal. It goes from electrical to chemical and back to electrical, all in a fraction of a millisecond. It's just incredible.
Okay, but think about it. Not all messages in your body need to travel at the speed of electricity. Some things, like growing or your mood, need a much slower, more sustained kind of control. And that's where a totally different system comes into play. This is the job of the endocrine system. You can think of it as your body's own wireless postal service. Instead of having dedicated wires, like the nervous system, it just uses the bloodstream as its highway to deliver chemical messages, called hormones, to all these different parts of the body.
And you have absolutely felt these hormones in action. You know that rush you get when you're suddenly scared or excited? Yep, that's adrenaline from your adrenal glands. Or the way your body handles the sugar from the meal. You can thank insulin from your pancreas for that. And the whole reason you grew from a kid into an adult? Well, that's thanks to growth hormone from your pituitary gland.
But what about life that doesn't have a nervous system? Let's totally switch gears and look at the plant kingdom. They don't have nerves or hormones like we do, but that definitely doesn't mean they're just sitting there doing nothing.
Plants also need to respond to what's going on around them. They need to find light, feel touch, sense gravity. So without a brain, or nerves, or muscles, how on earth did they pull it off? Well, it turns out they've just evolved an entirely different and equally brilliant set of tools to get the job done.
So plants basically have two main tricks up their sleeves.
First, you've got tropic movements. These are slow, permanent changes that are all about growth, like a plant slowly bending towards a window to get more sun. But then you have nastic movements, which are super fast, temporary reactions. A perfect example is the touch-me-not plant that folds up its leaves the second you touch it. It's not using muscles, it's using this amazing trick of rapidly changing the water pressure inside its cells.
And all of this brings us to a final, really powerful idea. From that lightning-fast nerve impulse in your brain to the slow, deliberate growth of a plant toward the sun, all of life is really just a constant conversation. It's a process of sensing and responding to the world. And it kind of makes you wonder, doesn't it? If everything is responding to signals, what signals are we missing? What languages are being spoken all around us that we just haven't learned to understand yet?